The 2019 Red Sox payroll already is nearing $240 million, making it impossible for the club to stay under the third tax threshold of $246 million if it re-signs closer Craig Kimbrel and keeps all its top players. The Athletic's Jayson Stark reported earlier this offseason Kimbrel wants a 6-year, $100 million contract, $16.667 million average annual value. Kimbrel won't receive that lucrative of a deal as his market has been stagnant this offseason. But he still should receive a shorter deal with an average annual value of around $16.667 million or more. He turned down the Red Sox's 1-year, $17.9 million qualifying offer. MassLive.com estimated the early 2019 Red Sox payroll to be at $238.8625 million. Red Sox payroll 2019 early projection has it nearing $240 million as Dave Dombrowski still pursues bullpen help. President of Baseball Operations Dave Dombrowski's payroll would blow past $255 million if he were to sign Kimbrel for $16 million or more per year while also keeping his roster as it stands right now. Dombrowski has strongly implied the Red Sox will not pursue Kimbrel. He also said he would prefer for the payroll to stay below the $246 million threshold. Although it's not a mandate, we're not going to be overly aggressive with big expenditures for our relief. Closer at this point, Dombrowski said. Our payroll is pretty high at this point. So without getting specific on him, Kimbrel, we're not looking to make a big expenditure in that area. So read that as you may. Dombrowski shared the same sentiment last week. He told USA Today's Bob Nightingale, "Craig did a great job for us. He's a Hall of Fame reliever. But we have not anticipated having a large expenditure for a closer." Dombrowski still is pursuing a reliever as spring training approaches. He said, "Big expenditures for a reliever not only includes long-term contracts, but also short-term contracts with high average annual values, salaries. The average annual value of each player's contract counts against the competitive balance tax. It might be difficult for the payroll to stay under $246 million even with the roster as it's constituted now, especially if the Red Sox add another reliever for a low cost." The Red Sox spent $4.0537 million in in-season transactions last year between Steve Pearce, Nathan Eovaldi and Ian Kinsler. Any team in postseason contention needs some payroll flexibility to make in-season trades. The Red Sox have approximately $6-7 million to spend on transactions, including in-season moves. But they also can decrease their payroll before opening day. An arbitration salary isn't guaranteed until a player makes the team out of spring training. So Tyler Thornburg's $1.75 million won't count toward the CBT unless he makes a strong case during spring training and begins the regular season on the roster. Dombrowski said it's unlikely he'll keep all three catchers, Sandy Leon, Christian Vasquez and Balak Swihart. If the Red Sox want to stay under the $246 million, they'd be best served to keep Swihart, $910,000, and move on from Leon, $2.475 million, the 13 guaranteed contracts to J.D. Martinez, David Price, Chris Sale, Rick Porcello, Eovaldi, Vasquez, Mitch Moreland, Eduardo Nunez, Pierce, Dustin Pedroia and Pablo Sandoval total $159.865 million. Sandoval's average annual value counts still against the CBT in 2019. The 12 arbitration contracts to Mookie Betts, Sander Bogaerts, Jackie Bradley Jr., Eduardo Rodriguez, Brock Holt, Tyler Thornburg, Leon, Brandon Workman, Stephen Wright, Keith Hembree, Matt Barnes and Swihart total $58.9975 million. Add another $6 million in pre-arbitration salaries and $14 million for medical costs, health benefits, spring training allowances, moving and traveling expenses, etc. That brings the early payroll projection to $238.8625 million.